Yeah, that's as hip as I can get with the new stuff. So
Well, I mean, she's hip.
That's the only name I know, I guess. So
She's hip, but yeah, I don't think she's got the look. You know, Taylor Swift is just too
yeah.
weird for me, and Miley Cyrus might be the weirdest of them all. So I don't know. There's got to be somebody, Craig. Somebody.
I heard.
Was it?
Yeah. I hear that it's probably going to be getting harder and harder to get big acts. Well, I don't know. That's for the Super Bowl show, I guess. But halftime Super Bowl because they're not getting as much recognition as they thought they were. So, and they don't get paid for it.
Basically they're giving them an audience. You know what I mean? But most of that audience is old white dudes. You're gonna have to put on some freaking Jimmy Buffett. We'll love Jimmy Buffett.
My screen on my computer only shows me, and it's not adding you guys to it. No, it's showing the whole thing on my computer.
Ryan, I think some settings are messed up or something because I only got Justin still. I don't see you or Rick.
Okay, now I've got it full screen and I got all three of you on, so I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I got Justin Strauss on the left, and then I got Brian Jackson on the top right, and it just shows a circle with your dog in it. And then I got Rick. Yeah.
That's me.
And then I got Rick Licking, and I got RL. That's it.
Now it's doing
RL.
something. Now it's doing
RL.
something.
There, now you're
Now
on.
you all moved.
Yeah.
You all moved on me, but you're up. Well, I'm sure the crowd is just riveted. Do we have anybody watching?
I wonder if it's just.
Always. There.
Yeah. One lonely beastie IB.
Yeah.
Got any questions, Glitter Boy?
Football questions.
I think he kind of worded it weird, but he said, what's the Mixon slash who's the running back? Carson's. So Mixon slash Carson and Cooper slash who's the other wide receiver? Yeah, it's hard to say. If he's trying to do trade or if he's trying to do starting lineup, I don't know.
And what advice did you give him? And I don't know.
We gave him Cooper and Carson pretty much.
All right.
Yeah. You guys don't know.
Hey, I'm subscribed. Well, and that's wrong because I have 9 from my kicker. Yeah, I got Crosby. He's got 2 field goals and 2 extra points. So, and he's got more points.
Behind it has Wentz only thrown for 1 touchdown. He's thrown for 2.
Yeah, our stats are a little slow on the site tonight. But I do like the 5-4 baseball score. I hope it stays that way. After stat corrections.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened with the stat corrections today with Pimps and
Feelers got the win.
Feelers
got the win.
Oh, Oh, wow.
Yeah,
By like quite a bit too, wasn't it?
Yeah, he ended up winning by like 6 or something because he went up and Pimps went down. And then we went up a little bit.
Ouch.
But Jimmy went down one. I think we went up to 215 from 213, and Jimmy went from 220 to 219. We've got Pittsburgh and Gamblers.
They got Gallagher's and Taylor's.
Yeah. We got a couple of tough games,
You
man.
guys better put up big scores.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the thing is we've pretty much had near the top the first 3 weeks, but shit happens from week to week. You really don't want to have the bad week this week. You know what I mean? But you want to win the division games, and we went 3-0 in the division, and I'm happy about that.
We want you to beat our conference guys. So we're your biggest fan right now.
Well, good. I don't have very many fans. Usually, I grew the mustache out this last week, and nobody at work likes it. I'm a little disappointed.
I like it.
It's almost as bad as Rogers.
yeah. He doesn't look good in his either.
I'm like, what's wrong with his hair? He was on TV earlier, and I was like, what's wrong with his hair or his mustache or something?
Do you notice his helmet though? His helmet looks like it gets bigger and bulbous at the top there. That's the best you could do. You don't look cool at all in your helmet. You may want to talk to Antonio Brown. That guy knows his shit about helmets.
I gotta say, I realize I hate watching football with my wife and my daughter because they're sitting there watching, and all of a sudden they're like, cocks.
You would like watching football with me that either.
I was like, can we just watch football?
That guy's last name is Cox.
No.
They used to use the UWGB cheerleaders. I think they still do. So no, they're not hot for sure. Yes.
So just so you know, looks like and maybe it just updated. Looks like game day is not.
You went up to 7.
Yeah. What the heck is? How do you get 7?
Yep.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's. Yep, we're.
Way to go, Douglas. That's the way to go, Douglas.
So
we just picked him up today and put him in the starting lineup.
With your trades, did you get everybody you wanted to get? Okay. Right. Yep. That's what you do.
You guys are completely broken up, and I can understand the thing, so I'm going offline.
Well, that doesn't help the conversation.
If you even got that message from me.
I got a question for you guys. About rules. So now we had the discussion about you can put somebody on your taxi squad, but they got to clear waivers.
Correct.
What does clear waivers mean? So like okay, I'm gonna use Jimmy Moreland. Collins picked him up in waivers.
What round?
First round. But I had dropped him Sunday night before the game started. So he literally was available for anybody to pick up for maybe a half hour. So is that clearing waivers?
He was available when you drop like that. They're available. They don't have to wait.
They're available immediately before his game starts. I was hoping to get him back. I put him back on my list, and I would have got him later in the first round, but he picked him. So then he put him on his practice squad or taxi squad. But
I mean, I would say
I was going to call him out on it, and I went back and looked at the transaction history, and I'm like, I guess I dropped him before his game started. So he literally, anybody could have picked him up, which is clearing waivers, really. But I don't know if we're going to.
I don't know. That must be me.
I don't know. Clearing waivers normally is if anybody has a chance to pick him up, but you may not know he's available for that half hour either. So
yeah,
well, the NFL I don't think has it where you drop a guy and he's immediately available either.
I do not. I know. I mean, I assume once a guy's cut, they do have to wait for every. They must have a certain day that it has to run waivers through because teams put in for them. So I don't. I think Craig's right. I don't think there is an actual anybody can pick them up. You know what I mean?
Right.
They actually go through a waiver order.
Or maybe anybody can. Teams can pick him up, but he's got to go through maybe a 2 or 3 day process, and if nobody claims him in,
everybody gets a shot at him with the worst team first.
Right.
And if nobody does, then he's available.
Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to figure that out too.
So what do you think of the rule should be then, guys? I mean, personally, I think they should have to clear waivers. I don't think a player should be able to be picked up when somebody drops them because I think that could lead to, don't get me wrong, I just think people in this league sometimes might work together to do certain things, if you know what I mean.
And then if you're going to do that, you could wait until 2 minutes before their game starts and drop him and say, hey, you had a chance to pick him up for 2 minutes.
Right.
And you didn't, so then I took him through waivers. So, yeah, there's got to be some kind of...
Yeah, I think we need to, when maybe just with rookies that can go on practice squad, they have to wait till the waiver period and have to go at least in the second round to be put on your practice squad. Right. That's kind of the kind of agreement we made so we would allow people to put guys back on their practice squad. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it went hand in hand with people accepting that rule that you could put any rookie after the draft on your practice squad. So, yeah, I think that would be the right thing to do. And so one of you is going to have to talk to Craig Collins and have him post that and make that rule.
And he's not going to understand what I'm talking about.
Sorry, Craig, if you're watching.
Yeah, I'm just, unless I call him on the phone, and I really don't want to discuss it, but can't text him, probably.
You want me to have Elon do it?
Yeah.
All right. He seems to like to do that stuff. Plus, Elon's kind of like the mentor at this point.
Is he? I was wondering if Elon was kind of trying to be hands off, or because I haven't.
He is, but he wants Collins. When you have a question, call me. Don't hesitate. You know what I mean? Type thing. He's not going to butt in, but like when you have an issue, give me a call.
Okay.
And that's probably the right way to approach it.
So what do you guys think it should be? So he should go through. He should completely go through the waivers.
He should have to wait till after waivers, and then if you're going to put him back, if you want to put him back on the practice squad, you're going to have to get him in the second round.
Okay, that's what I thought. We said that in the second round at the league, but we really didn't
take
say
him in the first, but you can't put him on the practice squad then.
And we actually did say that. And if a guy is out there and available, then he had to be dropped before his game started, because you can't drop a guy after the game starts.
Right.
The system won't let you.
Won't let you. Right. Exactly. Or drop him.
Yeah. And I want him back.
Do it right before so you get him in that waiver wire again. But you might have to trade up to the top of the second round to get him. So that's the other thing, Brian. That's something that I really like when I see people doing it, is trading for the waiver wire picks. How receptive were the other guys when you called them? I know one was JJ, and then the other was Pat. Oh, was it roster baiters? Was it roster baiters? I probably would have. Well, I had you on Akins if he was available, if one of your guys. I didn't know where you had him in your thing, but I assumed if some guys, for sure, if some guys went in front of you, you put in for him. So I didn't even bother putting in for him, to be honest with you. Right. That's what I assumed. He was not. I wanted Darrell Williams probably with my first pick, but I also knew that having the last pick, he wouldn't be available. If you guys, somebody would, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. Yep.
And he accidentally had it on the screen so everybody could see.
Well, I know we wanted Nelson was a guy I figured we could get, the backup, because we're not sure about what Josie Jewell, his injury is, and it's hard to get any information right now. But so Nelson looks like he was the backup, the next guy up from looking at snap counts. So we went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. Yeah, we did. That was another player we wanted to try to get. I didn't think he'd be available. Yep. I'm not going to ask him. He creeps me out. Yeah, but he just creeps me out, the shit he wears. I think he's going to be a little, maybe got a little Bruce Jenner in him or whatever his name is now. Yeah. Yeah, where at some point we're going to, what? Oh, yeah, totally. Yep. Yep, exactly. Lead singer, Judas Priest. I bring it up every time.
You got a little Bruce Jenner in you? No? Want one?
You want some? As always. As always. Okay, back to the waiver wire. Exactly. Yep.
Starting this morning at 10:30. Ryan, no.
Right. Yeah, that's the cool thing I really like is I mean the transactions and stuff. I mean 10:30, it's fun to turn on the transactions and to see. You almost get a little excited, see what happened, who got dropped.
It's almost Christmas, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun. It's another part of this league that I really like.
Yeah, Ishmael went first, then Daryl Williams and Shelby Harris. You're right, Gabriel, he went 5th or 6th.
Yep. Right, but somebody had to pick him up, right? I mean,
yeah,
you have to take the shot. In a league this size, you got to take the shot.
So you got Akins in the first round. Because I think I would have got him. I had him 3rd on my list, I think. I had that one Pimps took Anyamata. I wanted to get him too.
Yep.
And Moreland, I wanted Jimmy Moreland back, but I couldn't get him back.
Jimmy Moreland was somebody I was definitely the guy scoring. I mean, consistently. When you look at his scoring box, it's consistent. He's a rookie.
And that's why. And that's why they say it's the corner rookie rule.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to throw at the rookie, so. And that's how you get points in fantasy football on corners is tackles, and they got to get thrown at.
If you don't play IDP, and this is a little tip from Uncle Craig here, he'll tell you that you always start rookie corners, not good corners. You don't want good corners. You just can't have absolutely horrid corners. They have to be good enough to get on the field and stay, but you want them to get peppered, and they usually do.
And that's
you can't fix it. Right.
I was listening to another podcast the other day on the way to work, and they were talking exactly the same thing. You know, it's like, how are you supposed to fix that? And the one guy said, and this is what I kind of always thought too, it won't work, but you start with a certain number and you subtract as they get thrown at. So then they're losing points every time they get thrown at. However, what if a guy only plays the first quarter and he gets hurt?
Yes.
Not going to lose any more points. So
right. He ends up with a great day.
Yeah. So I don't know what the answer is to it, but
I've just come to accept it. I mean, it's not football. It's fantasy football. It's a fantasy football thing. You know, that's how corners and defensive backs work in fantasy football, and that's just a little part we have to accept sometimes.
I guess it's the same. Yeah, like when you had some of these guys, corners were on the top of their game, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but they didn't score any points, and you couldn't have them on your team.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, Patrick Peterson earlier, he gets picked on a little bit now. Right.
Richard Sherman.
The Jets was probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
It was, but it's Revis was the one that
Revis, yeah.
You know that
the island.
Yep, Revis Island. But yeah, he was the best corner in the NFL, but the worst corner to have in fantasy football. Yeah, I'd like to know what the thought process was. What did drew him to that person? That's what the. Well, I also like the Rob Gronkowski pick there, Craig. I was like, oh, what? That's like a what the fuck? Why not? I mean, I remember
I
Calvin
was about
Johnson
ready to
rumors
give
come
up
up
on
every
him.
now and then.
I dropped him to pick up Des Bryant because I saw some news on that people were looking at him. And then I read about Rob Gronkowski. They're saying he's got a 40% chance of playing this year. And I'm like, I don't know. You make room for him. I'm like, I'll put him low. And, of course, everybody else on my list went. So, what was he? I saw. That played into it. I saw he was on your team, and I'm like, okay, well, I think you dropped him a little too early. Maybe I'll try him. I think he was one of the sites I was looking. He was high on the projections too, so I was like, okay, well, maybe they know something.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. But those are players you take a shot on, and I mean, at the bottom of your roster, you're just trying to, hit. You know what I mean? Taking shots. That's why the waiver wire is fun. A lot of people taking shots. That's why when you see the Rob Gronkowskis or the Calvin Johnsons or the Des Bryants come off, you don't see that in every league.
Right.
You see it in this league though. Trying to get that player just one fucking time. It's hard. It's hard. Supposedly,
I saw that.
Was supposed to be a big time player. He's the one that came out of Oregon, right? Was it UCLA? I know it was. I remember the name, and I remember reading that kid was supposed to be something good. So. Always a good thing. That's why I know the Lions will be playing the Packers in 2 weeks, and they really want to get Mike Daniels healthy for that game, just because usually when a player goes back to where they were, they just seem to just be pumped up, man. I look for that. If you got a player, defensive lineman or some running back or something, going to a place he just came from, he's playing, play him. Yeah, he got a sack.
Yeah, I was thinking of putting him on my list too, but he didn't quite make it. But yeah.
I try to get names. I mean, I really like getting goofy names on my teams. Elon made a funny point to me. Was it yesterday? He goes, "I'm not saying you're racist. I'm not saying you're racist, but you draft an awful lot of white guys." I'm like, really? It's not anything like that. It's just when you have lower picks, those are the guys that are available. Whatever reason, you know what I mean? That's when you get your Nick Vigils and your Schoberts. You know?
Are you saying nobody wants the white guy?
Well, look at the NFL draft.
Ooh,
I mean, yes, a Luke Kuechly will be around every now and then, right? But for the most part, your athletic positions, linebackers, things like that, all the high-rated guys, they're athletic. You know, where if a white guy's pretty good, like the fella for the Patriots out of Michigan, Chase Winovich, he's got a high motor. He's not athletic, but he's got a high motor. And no, he's athletic. You know, watch him play. He's very athletic. It's more. He's got a high motor, but yeah, exactly. You know, you know, you'll see. You'll try to compare. Who do you compare? Any white wide receiver used to be McCaffrey. Oh, he's like no, he's nothing like McCaffrey. He's just got the same skin color. You know what I mean? You know, it's like, but
and
no.
If they're short and fast, then they're like Don Beebe.
Yes, exactly. They're smart players. Yeah.
What's that?
I just like value, and when like those players, they're available in our draft in like the 4th and 5th round, and you know they're probably gonna play, you know, within a year or two, and that's what our practice squad is good for, because guys like that usually don't play right away. People don't go after them, and then heading into that next year, then all the buzz comes out and nobody can touch them, you know, and they're going to be the starter the following year. Oh, there's definitely some of that to it, but you know, I just yeah, 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 not yeah, I agree. Sometimes I still think. But I don't know. I I'm really thinking that we do have to do something um, about Craig Collins and all his trading. I just think we have to have an intervention. I think he's taken a team that was mediocre and turned it into crap.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he's watching right now, because I remember him saying some stuff about Jimmy, like, you know, Jimmy, boy, maybe we should get him a partner. I'm like, Jimmy's fine. Jimmy always ends up. He sticks to a plan, and eventually he hits. And when he does, he's got a damn good team. Just let him be. But I thought he's moved on a little bit from that, though. Don't you? I mean, you're.
Uh,
Yep. Yep.
I know Ben Watson was one of his late picks, but he hasn't played yet this year.
And really, probably not a bad pick. But he took him in the 16th round. You know what I mean? So.
Was it?
Yeah, 16-4 it says. So that's actually not too bad. I mean, he went Noah Fant in the 2nd round, the 7th. Trying to see he must have some of the guys in his taxi squad. Madison, great player on his taxi squad. Yep. Oh, look at Jimmy though. I mean, he's got Dalvin Cook, who's literally tearing it up this year. You know what I mean?
Keenan Allen, same thing.
Yep. And in a redraft, he's probably at the top of the list of anybody right now. He's probably the best running back in football right now, fantasy wise. Yeah. Yeah. Well, seriously, I, 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 I'm still taking Cook if everybody's healthy. I mean, if it's a redraft league, I have no qualms with it.
Yeah. Cook. Yeah, it is. Cook, McCaffrey, Ingram are the top three, and Cook has McCaffrey by 5 points. So.
Yeah. I mean, you know how I like McCaffrey. but
Yeah.
Well, I knew his dad, and I don't want to say it like this, but in fantasy terms, I did own his dad. You know what I mean? And he was a great player for our team. You know what I mean?
If you click on their name on the website, does it list that by their stats? Yeah, skin color.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, if
right
you want a team, you're probably going to want to go a heavy one. But no, it's though he really is the best player in fantasy football as far as running backs go by far to me. I mean, he's got Dalvin Cook, like you said. Yep. Exactly. So he's looking like gold right now as far as that goes. And I don't know, and LeSean McCoy, did he get him in the waiver wire? Or did he get him as a free agent before the waiver wire when he got signed?
I think it was waiver wire. I think he was out there. Oh, maybe he did draft him. I think.
But even so, just little things like that, you use them. I know they talk about it on Football Guys all the time. The windows, get them in the windows. So, I assume are you starting Williams this week, Brian? The running back? Yeah. I mean, when you get the chance on a player like that, you start him. You know what I mean? This is what you trade up for in the waiver wire. And you. Yeah, and that's the thing.
13.
Nice. Okay, now I want to go back to something with Jimmy Moreland. Why do you put him on your practice squad?
Yeah, I don't understand that one at all.
You know what I mean? So you're getting. So he's trying to get somebody to trade for him. Is that what he's trying to do?
Which I thought about, but I'm not going to give him a third for him. But the only value he carries is because he's a rookie cornerback.
Right. So next year, that's my point.
Yeah, so next year he's not going to have any value, and then you're going to have to move him up. So I mean, he might still have some value as a corner, but. So that brings another question: is what tag does Moreland have now? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you re-rank him then.
But he hasn't.
Well, then he should. I think you can just use what's available, what's left, or you can go lower always. You can always go lower.
But if you got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a third, and somebody claims your third, one of your thirds, that leaves only 1/3 open. I mean, so then you have to use a third. Oh yeah, you can use lower, but
you can go lower. You can always go lower.
I don't understand the concept of that. There's no use for it anymore. There used to be, maybe. Yeah. Right. But it doesn't matter because you can trade them at any point. You can trade them at any point. So you don't need them to claim them. You can say, hey, I know you don't have a third, but I'll trade them to you for a fifth, and you can move them up at any point. So
now, how do you guys feel about etiquette on that? I mean, do you just like to post on and blindside the guy, say, hey, I'm claiming your player? Or do you like to talk to them first and say, hey, what do you want for this guy? What's it going to take to get him?
I don't mind either way, really.
I prefer to talk to him first. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, he has more value on the practice squad. If I don't want to bring that player up, I don't want to claim him. I want him to stay on that practice squad anyway. You know what I mean? Even if I don't get him right there, maybe 2 weeks he softens up on it or something. You know what I mean? And I can still get him on the practice squad. Burke Irvin.
Amani Cooper.
It's Hooker.
Oh, Hooper. How's Cooper still there?
Yeah, no doubt. I worked on it.
Well, the Packers scored to tie it up. Who scored?
Graham.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got him on with a second? Is that what you have? Yeah. So if he does anything, we know he's going to get claimed. So, it would have been nice to have the first on him to maybe get some people not be able to claim him, but
so I gotta take off. I'm gonna go back upstairs and watch the game. But do you want me to go ahead and type something out about Moreland and you guys continue with it, or do you want me to just let Eland handle it?
If you want, can you text what you have to Eland?
Sure.
Just text that to Eland and explain, and just tell him, and then I'll probably talk to him on the phone maybe some point tomorrow, maybe. But if you have the information, so you can it's easier than me to try to explain it to him.
Okay.
And also, Craig, like I know I was talking to Brian before we started. Maybe next Tuesday or something, if we're on, I want you to kind of maybe write down some thoughts about how you guys came up with our scoring system, and I want to talk about that a little bit. The original offensive scoring system for the league.
Okay. But I don't know if it was.
I assume
I know I was there,
you,
but I don't think it was
and
my
Brian.
ideas. Yeah.
No, but I know I was there, but I think the driving forces were to be honest, from what I remember was you, John Eland, and Craig were the three that I really remember, and kind of like hashing out that 5 points was the medium decent day, 100 yards rushing, 300 yards passing, 100 yards receiving, and then working off of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah. Exactly. So I kind of want you guys to
stop giving our viewers spoilers. We're talking about it on Tuesday.
Yeah, but just go ahead and kind of go, and then we'll talk about it on Tuesday.
Well, 2 people are going to have a heads up of what's going on Tuesday. I already heard this.
But it but it
Did we? Yeah.
It kind of is. Yep. Have fun.
All right. Talk to you later.
Craig. Yep.
Sunday morning. Yeah. Okay. Okay. See you later.
Have a good one, Craig.
You too.
Good luck.
You too. Bye.
Yeah, I'm probably going to hit the hay here too. It's about 10 o'clock. But that was good that